How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about CEI Camber Energy. We saw on the Friday that just passed, we had a good amount of volatility in the play, but it still remained consistent. And I want to make sure you guys are prepared going into Monday due to the fact I see there's a lot of demand for shares. And of course, I want to make sure you guys crush it going into next week. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know those key levels in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. Again, I want to make sure you guys are prepared. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. The reason why the short interest is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what is the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as for the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for CEI Camber Energy. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $1.37, no change whatsoever in regards to percentage. When we take a look at where it ranged on the day, it tested a low of $1.25 and then on the high testing $1.38. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you could see we traded at 28.657 million shares, and then for the average volume over 10 trading days being at 93.802 million shares. So well below the average, but no surprises there due to the fact we did have a half day. It was the holiday week and so forth. Plus on top of that, the markets were fairly choppy. Now, when we take into consideration what our chart looks like, we're also using the daily chart. You can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 51.53. So pretty much right there in the middle. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 50-day. We do have strength above the 21-day EMA. You guys know how much I love seeing that. And we also have strength above the 100-day and as well as for the 200-day. So what you could see here, we have built up a nice support here right at this $1.25 level for CEI. So you're going to want to see a continuation of this going into Monday. So if we end up having a dip, we want to see a $1.25 hold. Most preferably, I would also like to see us actually hold up the $1.30 level, because if we can hold a $1.30, that's where I'm going to be looking forward to seeing that move going to $1.50. We know this is going to be a strong resistance area, but I feel we can get past it. Then of course, then we can start testing right here at the 50-day around $1.62. One thing to be aware of, we did see a high of $1.38. So I feel if we're able to actually also pass 145, then we can easily get to that $1.50, what I'm looking for. As far as for the worst case scenario, considering that we had the news about the variant and the markets were very choppy, if we broke through $1.25, then the next level that I'd want to see hold up would be right here around $1.22 or even around $1.20. And of course, I'd be looking for a bounce from there. So let's see how CEI performs going into Monday. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for CEI. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So as you can see here, for the most recent filing on November the 26th, we have the FOMO ETF that purchased just under 22,000 shares, 21,927 to be exact. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 36.95%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 4.45 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 2.7 million, updated 24 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 4.28%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 24th, which was the Wednesday that passed, it was at 38.72. And then for the close of the Friday, which was on November the 26th, which just passed, it was at 36.95. So we see a small reduction there, but one thing that is very clear, CEI still continues to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why I want you guys to keep a close close eye on this play and also have a strategy if you're going to consider trading it. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for CEI. So we can see here on the inflow it was at 4,644, and then on the outflow it was at 5,124. So we ended up having an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, you can see on the large it was 1,504, on the medium it was 2,369, and then on the small it was 771. When we take a look at what happened on the outflow side on the large, it was at 1,760. On the medium, it was 2,441. And on the small, it was 924. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for November the 26th, so the Friday that just passed, it being that negative outflow of 255.11. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, you know the small scale orders tend to represent the retail side. So we ended up having more selling than we had buying. When we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And of course, when we take a look at the large, we had more selling than we had buying. So what this tells me right away, due to the fact that we did close at $1.37, so there was no change whatsoever, there's a lot of strength in this stock. There's still a lot of demand. There's still a lot of people who are buying. And I'm pretty sure when we take a look at the turnover ratio, of course, it's at 11.46%, due to the fact that we have a good amount of traders that are going in and out of this play. But even though we did have a lot of selling on the Friday due to the fact of the news and as well as for the market as a whole, CEI held up very well, and this is why I want to see what it does on Monday, because if the markets are looking strong, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing CEI make some moves to the upside. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for CEI Camber Energy, I can't wait to see how well it performs on Monday. If the market conditions are strong, then I can see this stock moving fairly well. If they are not, then of course we can continue to have the consolidation we have been seeing, or we could end up having a pullback. Where I want to see some strength in regards to a dip is a continuation at that $1.25 level. At the worst case scenario, I want to see it hold up at least $1.20, and anything below that, that's where if I was going to jump into this play for a trading opportunity, I would be setting up my stop loss and so forth. Like I said, the main areas that this stock really needs to pass is getting above $1.45 and also getting above $1.53, so we could look forward to seeing that move to where it can start getting into the $1.60 range, where we have some resistance right around that 50-day. I talked about it inside of the technicals. Make sure you check that out if you haven't checked it out already. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, of course, this play does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is why I say if we have more volume coming into the stock, keep in mind the volume was light due to the fact it was Friday and it also was a half day, then it will be very interesting to see what CEI can actually do. And this is why I map out the game plan so you can add it to your homework and as well as your due diligence. You guys know already this is not financial advice, but I just want to make sure you're not out there just buying blindly or being left as a bag holder. You do not want to be buying at the tops, and if you are going to be trading off of this price action, there is a way to go about doing it, especially with extremely volatile plays like these. And another thing that I want to emphasize, when you are taking your positions, break it up. You do not need to go all in on your first entry. So let's say, for example, you want to spend $1,000 overall in regard to taking a position. So what you would do, all right, so for the first position, I'm going to take 25%, which will be $250. Then you're going to see, hey, where's the price action actually going? If it looks like it's in a steady uptrend, then I'll be adding more to my position. Or if it ends up deciding to pull back, but it's still in a key area of support inside of that consolidation zone, then you can add another to your position. And even if it decides to pull back even more, then you can make that decision for yourself. Well, you know what? I think I might get out of the trade, or maybe think about whether I'm going to have a stop loss, or you're going to be like, you know what? I only put $500 into this thing so far. Let me wait a little bit and wait up for that next spike. Again, when you do this particular type of strategy in regards to position sizing, you are making sure that you are minimizing your risk. And then number two, by not going all in, you could use the rest of that money going into other plays where it can make money for you, so you're not there just sitting waiting for the stock to move. I'm getting a lot of comments, a lot of messages about, hey Dre, I put this much money into the play, and I'm like, all right, so do you have any money for your second entry? Are you able to buy the dip, especially if the stock does continue to have a bullish pattern? pattern. And people will be like, well, nah, like I went all in. Again, stop doing that. Stop letting emotions come into the way of your trading. If you let greed get in the way, you are not going to be successful whatsoever. I know a lot of YouTubers don't talk about this, but I just want to make sure when you watch my channel, you're getting value from it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.